Hi, my name is Janet Skinner. Sometimes in life we need a purpose to continue. And back in the early 1990s, I was looking for a reason to live, if you like. Just happened by accident one day that I saw that Geebung station, which is in Queensland, was going to be demolished and replaced. So I decided to paint it. And during the 1990s, I painted 104 railway scenes, and that kept me going. As I sat on the platform and railway sidings, old people would come over and speak to me and tell me about life in the good old days. These were elderly people. It transpired that many of them were born in the early 1900s. I wrote down their names and phone numbers, and I went back and interviewed them. There's a series of some 35 railway tapes that I'm making of the interviews that I recorded in New South Wales and Queensland. I'm not a journalist. I've got no background training in interviewing. And I really hope you enjoy these films. I hope they bring laughter to many and insight into what life used to be like. And please bear with me. I had fun doing them, and I hope you have fun listening to them. Thank you so much. Eric, was you were born in
Sibley Road.
You were born in Sibley Road, and that's Lindum, isn't it?
That's Lindum, yeah.
So your name's Sibley, and you were living in Sibley Road. That's quite a long road as well, isn't it? Sibley Road.
Yeah, it runs from Lindum Station to Wynnum Road.
Right.
It's quite a long road.
Do you know how it became named after your family?
Yes. Have you been out in Sibley Road at all?
Yes.
You know the two hills, don't you?
Yes.
Well, we used to have a gate at either end of that. And Patterson's from Wynnum here, they developed the top of the hill there, and the people used to come up and go through our gate and go through to Wynnum when they couldn't get round Lindum near the Iona College because it used to be too boggy and wet weather down that bottom corner there.
Right.
And they used to go through our shortcut to Wynnum.
Right.
And then, of course, I think it was when they formed the Greater Brisbane, I think, we gave the road through, and that's how it got its name.
So the road actually went across your property?
Yeah, it went right through. There was a blind end at either side between those two hills.
Right. So did you have a few acres in that, did you then?
Oh yes, we had about 20, when they could put the road through, we had about 20 or 25 acres on this side, where it's all the married women's homes now, mother with husbandless children,
Yeah.
And on the other side there was 32, about 42 acres something on the other side. It goes between there and Malabar Street down the bottom.
Right, and what did you used to do with your land?
Sand and gravel.
Sand and gravel?
Sand and gravel all my life, yeah.
Right, so what, you excavated it from the land, did you?
Yeah, we had all sorts of sand and soil there, different white sand and yellow sands. And we carted it out there for, we must have carted it out there for between the time I was 16 and 60, all those years.
So was that always in your family, that land?
Yeah, it was bought by the father before he
your father?
left England.
Yeah.
His brother bought it for him. Before he left England, he was in the British Army.
Right, so it's your grandfather or your father?
My father.
Your father, okay. So what date, what year was that?
Christmas Day 1911, they arrived here.
Right, right. Gee, that was...
Christmas Day 1911, and they loaded all their goods onto the station at Lindum and used a trolley to take it along till they got in front of the paddock, our paddock,
Right. Was you born then, or was you born?
No, I was born 1915.
1915. Okay. So when they bought the land, just out of interest, did they know that it had all this sand and gravel on it?
No,
they didn't know, and they just found it at a later date.
Yeah, later date, and then we bought this other one adjoining there. I was only about Well, I was only about 18 when I got my own home. Didn't live there and then, but I bought my own home, and then I got my licence when I was 16. Put my age on 12 months, got the driver's licence, and I care that was about 1931, 32.
Right.
32, 31, that'd be.
So you got your driving licence about 1932?
31 or 16.
Right. So the railway would have been quite near your property, would it?
No, it's over there. It's down the flat. You've got to go over the hill to get to it.
Yes.
Over the Lindum
Right.
Hill.
And did the railway feature much in your family business or anything like that?
No.
Didn't use to sort of move any sand?
It went past a bit of property, you know.
Yeah. Didn't use it. How did you use the railway at all as a child very much?
Well, until I was 16, I worked in town.
Right.
I worked in town in fact, I worked in the Regent Theatre for 10 weeks.
What age did you start work?
14.
You started 14?
I turned 14 on the Friday and started work on the Monday.
At the Regent Theatre?
No, for Peter Fleming in town, in Albert Street,
Right.
where the Metro Theatre is now. They used to have a hardware store there in Albert Street.
Right.
And it was during that time that I went with the installating people to do all the cork and all the cooling system, you know.
Right.
And that was when just as they was trying their pictures out, and the bloke was tuning the organ every day, you know.
That's when they used to play the music for the cinema, was it?
No, they was trying the organ out. You worked for weeks and weeks there tuning the organ, a big Wurlitzer organ, you know.
Wurlitzer, yeah.
And he played all day long. He played Yes, We Have No Bananas. Have you ever heard that song?
Yes, I think I have, yes.
And Hallelujah on the Bum.
Yeah.
Have you heard that one?
No, I'm not.
Hallelujah on the Bum, Hallelujah on the Bum again. And he played that backward and forward, day in, day out, tuning that organ. Why he played those two tunes, I would never know, but it must have something to do with it.
So what was the organ used for then?
The Wurlitzer organ.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
At the movies or
The movies was on, yeah. The movies was just starting then, you know.
Right.
And then we was working up in the ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, did you used to travel into town by a steam train or?
Yeah, I used to go by train.
Right. Or did you used to sort of walk to the station then? Was it walking distance?
Walk to the station, over there to the station.
And how frequently did the trains run then? Do you remember? Was it a long way?
At the morning they run about every half an hour, 35 minutes at Lindum. I know I used to catch the 5 to 7 at Lindum every morning. I used to get home about 6 o'clock, just after 6 in the night.
What was it like riding in a steam train?
Oh, well, it was all right in those days. You got a bit of coal in your eye sometimes.
Yeah. much slower than today's trains?
Oh, well, yes. It used to take 35 minutes. You used to get into South Brisbane at 7:30. I used to catch it at 4 minutes to 7 at Lindum. And we got into town at 7:30.
Did they used to have a stop on the way for water, or did they have enough?
Yeah, you stopped every station. Every station.
Right. And can you remember what sort of locos they were? Do you know?
Well, steam engines, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know which type, which one? No. That's okay. Okay. Let's stop there a minute. So, would you think that Lindum Station itself has changed much today?
Oh, God, yes.
Tell me how. What was that photo you had, Eric?
The platforms weren't. That was about the time the platforms got built up. But before, I couldn't even reach the door to get in.
You couldn't even reach the door to get in?
It was that high up, you know.
Yeah.
I used to go with the brother-in-law used to get in the train, and I used to open the door and I'd climb up into the carriage until they built that in.
Until they raised the platform up.
Yeah.
Yes. And what's this little building here next to the station?
That's the men's toilet, that one, this end.
Oh, right.
That was halfway, that building's still there.
Yeah, that's the one
And the men's toilet was halfway down the platform.
Right. So what year was this photo taken, you reckon?
1925.
1925.
Mm.
So did your father take this, did he?
No, I don't know who took it. I just found it amongst my photos the other week.
Right. there's a steam train in the picture there, I think.
Yeah.
Puffing away along. What are the buildings in the background there? Are they still there today?
Yeah, well, they've just pulled those down just recently. That was Troy's, that used to be in the station. Troy's and Fellows. This is Mrs. Hafner down here. And of course now it's all houses now, you know.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. I see my painting, I've got lots of fairly modern houses behind the station. None of those were there, were they? What sort of, did any sort of freight or anything go in and out of Lindum station?
Oh yes.
Tell me, I mean, was there produce produced in the Lindum area, food or anything?
No, but there used to be, used to be quite a few grapes, a few pineapples. Used to be stored in the shed there, and they had a loading ramp there on the other side of the line. Too, you could, it was built up to unload the stuff.
Okay. And would there have been the road there through there to Brisbane like there is nowadays?
No, the road came up past this place over the top there and stopped the blind end of our fence.
Right.
Just over the hill near Pleasantville, you know.
Yes, so...
Well, we owned Pleasantville. We used to own, we sold that to Pleasantville. I left it to the kiddies, the two boys and a girl, and they sold that, was it 5-6 years ago, they sold that to Pleasantville.
That's Pleasantville Nursing Home, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going there later today to interview the lady there. So where the road at the moment zigzags round by the railway, that wasn't there in those times, was it?
Yeah, this road went along the bottom there, up to this corner.
Right.
And that was Kiowa Road along there.
Right. Okay. I wonder what all those little white things are in the background there. Can you see what look like tents, but I don't think they can be tents.
Was it?
What's all those white...
Oh, that's Hemmett.
They're houses, are they?
Oh, yes, their houses at Hemmett.
Oh, right. Like, they must be the white roofs in the sun.
See, Hemmett is... Hemmett's one of the oldest settlements in Queensland.
Yeah.
It's the oldest school in Queensland.
Is there?
They used to...
What's that, the state school, primary school, is it?
The state school, near the station there. That's the oldest school in Queensland, they tell me, because it, they used to be... A lot of the people at Hemmett used to be in the army at Lytton. You know, that was another settlement there.
In your younger days, when you used Lindum Station, was there always a station master there?
Yeah. Stacia Troy was there.
Right.
Stacia Troy or Sarah Troy, the sister.
And did you have tickets?
Mrs. Dunstan came there years afterwards.
Yeah. Did you have tickets and that? Did they?
Yeah, tickets, yeah.
I've seen some of the older ones. Yeah. Right. Oh, that's great. I suppose this little house isn't here anymore, is it?
Not houses there, yeah. Still there.
Come and have a look, gee.
Yeah, the bottom of the hill on the left-hand corner.
It's been there for a year, hasn't it? Right. Okay,
Just to cost 5 and 6pence a week to go to Brisbane then.
5 and 6 a week?
5 and 6
For the whole week?
For the whole week.
Gee. Did you used to work 5 days in Brisbane?
It's 5.5 days.
5.5 days.
Yeah.
And when did you sort of start working on your land? Was that later on?
When I was 16.
Right.
I was just a month before I was 16. I gave it away and came on home.
How did you discover that there was gravel and sand on the land then?
Oh well, the brothers used to bag it and send it into town on the local carrier. A little bit before that, you know.
What, a carrier like
a road carrier.
A road
truck
carrier,
truck, They used to bag it and send it to town because we was the first people in Brisbane to supply what they call paddock sand. Before they used to use all river stuff and mix it with lime and all that sort of stuff, you know.
And then you sort of went from there. That's interesting. Okay. So, have there ever been any sort of accidents connected to the railway at all?
Yes, there was two people's been killed there.
Have there? What, Lindum?
20 odd years ago, yeah.
What on the...
One bloke was taking his cows across the line, and another chap, he lived in Kiowa Road. He used to keep his bike at the shop there, you know, and he was a little bit backward. And the kid used to play jokes on him, let his tyres down.
Yes.
So he used to take his bike over to the station house, over the opposite side of the line, because the kids used to let his tyres down. And then when he came home from work and went out to get his bike, he was wheeled across the line but killed.
Gee, that was terrible. And what about the one with the cows?
Yes, he was a middle-aged man. He had the dairy farm near the station there.
It makes you wonder they couldn't hear the train coming, or?
Yeah, that's right.
That's terrible, isn't it? Gee. That was about 20 years ago, you reckon, or Judge?
Oh yeah, that'd be. It could be 30 years ago.
Yes.
Probably about 30 years ago. Yes, it would be. Not quite 30 years ago, because they just shifted up to the new house at the top of the hill. They've been there 28 years. So.
What other changes have there been in this sort of the Wynnum, Pennant, any areas that you know? Tell me a little bit about the area as you know it.
Well, I'll tell you one particular thing. You know Primrose Hill at all, up this end of Sibley Road?
Yes.
That was owned by the Pattersons that had the Ingleson guest house in Wynnum here.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know how they got its name there, but there was Ray Granger Patterson, the produce merchant down here, and there's Granger Street, and there's Patterson Street, and there's Ingleson Street after the house down here, the big house where the Civic Centre is now on Bay Terrace, Ingleson guest house. And then Primrose Hill is named after Mrs. Patterson, was born in Scotland, and Regent Street, they're all named by the Pattersons. They used to own that top block joining our place, top Wynnum side of our estate. And all those names there are Primrose Parade and Rosehead Parade. They're all places from Scotland, and apart from the names of the Patterson family, you know.
And did you used to go to Wynnum to swim in the sea and stuff like that?
None of us ran much, but the brothers used to, you know.
Has the water and beach changed much?
God, yes.
Tell me what you remember.
The beach used to, across the road where you don't remember the Imperial Theatre, do you?
No, are we talking about Wynnum now, are we?
Wynnum,
yeah. No,
well, down at the bottom of what street? The main street. Down the beach, right across the road. The tide used to come right up to the road.
Really?
Right up to the road, and now they built a wall. This was in the Depression years when the relief work was on, you know, in the early 30s. And we used to go down there and collect the shells and have sand gardens down there. People used to come from town and all, and they built the wall. It's about near that house over there, out further, and they filled all the overburden from the council quarry didn't go up. They filled that all in. That's why you got all the big picnic areas and beach there now. But they covered up all the sand.
Oh, they covered up all the sand.
It used to come right to the road. The water used to come right to the road. That along the terrace, along the beach there.
And was the scene lovely and blue and that like it used to be?
Well, it was clean, yes. Not like it is now.
No, I've seen some changes. Can you still pick up shells on the beach now?
No, God, no. I don't know.
Not been on
There used to be crabs, soldier crabs, and and these other little coloured crabs, you know.
Did you used to do a spot of fishing and all that?
Oh yes, yeah. But we usually went to the river to do the fishing.
What sort of fish could you catch in the sea?
Oh, you'd catch brim, mainly brim and flathead, and whiting. They're the three you used to get over at Lytton there. Occasionally Jew you'd catch, you know.
And what about river fish? What sort of river fish, do you know?
Well, they were river fish.
Oh, they were river
fish.
fish.
Yeah, saltwater fish, river fish.
Okay, Right. What about Lota? Do you remember, did you have much, did you go to Lota very often?
See, I know Wynnum so well because I was delivering stuff all the time.
Do you want to tell me about that?
For all those years, you know.
Right.
And even Bay Terrace, like, there used to be Irvine's store. That's where the Social Security people are now.
What was the name of the store?
Irvine's.
Irvine's store.
Yeah.
What did they sell?
Oh, everything.
Right.
It was a big long store, that whole block nearly.
What, like fruit and vegetables and meat and stuff?
Fruit and vegetable, meat, hardware, jewellery, everything. different sections of the shop.
Oh, right, it's like a department.
Yeah, and
small department store.
and on the bottom side there, on the east side of it, there used to be an old house. I just forget the people's name there. And you used to have to go up the steps and walk along the veranda to the post office. It was only a room about as big as this, the little post office. And that's where we used to have to go to the post office.
And you were delivering sand and that to these places?
Oh yes, I was,
What, they were to build houses and
oh
pathways and
yeah,
stuff?
well, see, we was only suppliers. We used to cart into town as well, of course, one of those big buildings in town we carted to, In fact, we had 14 or 15 trucks carted at one stage.
Did you?
But they're not as big trucks as they are like now.
No.
There was only 3 or 4 metre trucks in those days. Now they're real big,
So, would you have had many shops at Wynnum like there are now? There wouldn't, of course, there wouldn't have been as many.
Well, on the corner of Bay Terrace and Florence Street, there used to be Birchley's on one corner.
Birchley's, was that?
Yeah, Birchley's. And there was a state butcher shop on the other, run by the state government, on the other corner. And there was Mr. Kennedy over in that corner, fruit stall. And there was O'Brien's on that corner. There's 4 shops. Well, the only one that there is now is Birchley's, and it's a different name now. It's still there.
What about the state butchers? What is that?
The state government, this was.
They used to supply the meat, did
They
they?
used to have the butcher shop, yeah.
Did they?
The government had the butcher shops in those days.
Did they? Didn't know that. Oh, the cat's going to... Okay. Cat's just jumped. Okay. Oh, I didn't realise that. Was that pretty much all over Brisbane? The government?
I think it was. There was a lot of state butcher shops about,
Oh.
And that was a state butcher shop there. And over the road used to be Howell Hanson, the chemist, and that was the only shops there, And then up the terrace further there was Tom's and Craig and Shorts, up way at the top. The old School of Arts was still there in those days.
Going back to the butcher shop, I always have memories in England of half lambs hanging up and whole sides of beef and things like that, and chickens hanging up by their feet. Was that like that in Australia? How did you used to get on for the heat and that?
They had all coloured rooms. They had big coloured rooms,
Yeah.
They just used to bring it out if they wanted.
Yeah.
Have their big,
we used to have sawdust on the floor.
Their big wooden butcher's blocks.
We used to have sawdust on the... Did you have
sawdust on the floor,
Yeah, there's still some shops in England actually that still do that. It's a bit of a...
sawdust on the floor.
What about petrol?
Petrol?
Yeah.
Well, when I first started, petrol was 1 and 2pence a gallon.
1 and 2pence a gallon?
1 and 2pence a gallon. We had our own Bowser in. That's the BP. That's British Petroleum. They put the Bowser in just before I started, in the late 1929 or something like that, 1928. I think I've still got the licence here somewhere. Well, that was 3 years before I went on my own, see. And the 2 or 3 brothers that was working there, things got that quiet that they all went on relief work. They used to give you 1 or 2 days a week, or 2.5 days a week, or something like that on relief work, And that's when the business was nothing, and I threw the job in town and worked on my own there for a long while,
So you had the Bowser, you mean that?
We had the Bowser, it was 1 and 2pence a gallon. Well, what's that? That's 10, 11 cents, isn't it? 11 cents a gallon.
Yeah, gee, that was reasonable.
And then of course it changed from from COR, Commonwealth Oil Refining, and I don't know if they're still going or not. But it wasn't until about, let me see, 5-6 years since they shifted from Brisbane. It'd be about 7 or 8 years ago they took the Bowser away. Like we, in fact a lot of trucks got into diesel fuel instead of petrol, In fact, Brisbane let to dig the Bowser out. That's only 5 or 6 years ago.
Right. So Bowser's like a big tank, is it? Is that what it is?
The tank's underground,
Yeah.
and the Bowser up top,
Yeah, okay. It's a lovely view you've got from here, isn't it? Where are you looking out to now?
That's Wellington Point.
Right.
And right across, straight across there further is Dunwich. Have you heard of Dunwich?
No.
Oh, that's the settlement on the big island. South Stradbroke. That's South Stradbroke Island. And that's Little King Island out there.
Little King Island. Lovely, lots of boats. That's Manly Harbour, is it?
Well, you've been down the harbour?
Yes, I have a few times. Yeah. Very
Boats
pretty.
down there, isn't it?
So this house would date to be over 100 years old, wouldn't it?
Well, they've been trying to find out how old it is, but when I was a kid, Senator Cooper used to live here. And Senator Cooper, he was a senator for years. As long as I can remember, he was a senator, and
Actually, he lived in this house?
he lived in this house, Senator Cooper did. But it's only about 5 or 6 years since I daughter bought it. Look at the swimming pool down here, see?
Got a lovely character to it, hasn't it? It's got a beautiful character to it. Lovely.
Got a swimming pool here, a little tennis court there, and
Yeah, that's lovely.
and when you lived here, you owned the whole block here, you know. That house there, that block there, that block there, that block there.
So you would have gone to school, where did you go to school?
Wynnum North.
Wynnum North?
I went to Wynnum North the whole time,
And how would you have got there every day?
Walk.
You walked? How far is that?
Oh, it'd be a couple of miles, I should imagine, from
It's a fair
Sibley
walk.
Road there, way up to the top of Tingle Road there.
Hold on, Eric, you were talking about walking to school every day.
Yeah.
About 2 miles a day is a long way in all this heat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gee, I used to live about a quarter of a mile from my school in England, and I used to hate that. And 2 miles a day. So how many would have been, what would the number of people at school have been?
Well, there'd have been a couple of hundred in those days, yeah.
Was that just the main school for the area, was it?
No, there was Wynnum North, Wynnum Central, Manly.
Right.
There was no school at Lowder, and there was no school at Wynnum West. They were just Wynnum Manly Lowder.
And
Wynnum Manly, Wynnum Central.
you didn't have high school in those days?
No,
it was
no
just
high
all the
school.
ones.
No,
Did you have the same teacher for every lesson, did you?
yes, that's yes.
Did you do other classes other than reading and writing and arithmetic? Did you do things like woodwork and...
Yes, we used to go to manual training every week. We used to go to Wynnum Central School for that. And manual training, and they used to go swimming once a week on Friday. And we had inter-school cricket and football.
Where did you go swimming in the sea, or...?
I used to go down the bars. There used to be bars down here at Wynnum, they're gone too.
Where were the bars then?
Down off the Wynnum jetty here. Down on the beach there. Used to pay a penny.
Did they have bathing huts?
Yeah, bathing sheds. Used to have little bathing boxes.
Could anybody use them, or did you own them, or rent
No,
them?
you could go and pay your penny. They used to have a caretaker there. You pay a penny to go into the bar. They had all the buttons around, shark proof,
I've seen pictures in England. I remember seeing once. They used to have old bathing huts, and they would actually build them out onto the beach sometimes. And I remember seeing one as a kid. It must have been really old. They wouldn't have had them here, would they? Where they actually take the bathing hut out to the water, and you can sort of...
No, you go along the...
They would have been gone by...
You'd go way out along the jetty. It was a fairly long jetty, and then you'd go in the gate there, and the huts would be along there in the swimming pool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.